This video is to document the installation of a steam shower model DZ963F8. It is a 39-inch by 39-inch 6 kilowatt steam generator unit. The brand name is Eaton, but also goes by the name Ariel or Ariel Platinum or Platinum. So there's different various names. The conventional shower unit that's being taken out is about 38 inches in size, so it should be very easy to put a 39-inch unit in here, and it should fit in, be a nice direct replacement. So I'm going to document taking apart the original shower here and then the installation of the steam shower, which will require 10 gauge wire and a 240 volt service to the 6 kilowatt steam generator. You can see the plumbing fitting is outside of the shower assembly. It's up top over there, and so this assembly should come out fairly easily. Just disconnect the drain and the trap. And I think I'm going to start by taking out these screws by the doors, and then there seems to be additional screws by the backsplash enclosure. So let's go start taking this apart by taking those screws out. The door is held on by two very long sheet metal screws, top and bottom, and then the door comes right off. And attached to the glass is this pliable silicone gasket, which has a channel which nests into the glass, and it looks like it also goes around the top and the side, going into the chrome channeling too. So make sure that's nicely nested in there, and hold on to those two screws so you can reassemble it. All along the inside on the assembly, it looks like the original installer put some silicone caulking in here. So you're going to have to come in here with an X-Acto knife and break free the chrome from the backsplash, and do that all the way around on the floor and then up the wall on the other side. If there's any kind of silicone bead that was put on there, and there probably was. And when reassembling, you'll probably want to put a new bead of silicone on there. After cutting the caulk and removing the four very long, maybe 3-inch long sheet metal screws in the corners, this unit came right out as one piece. So it is now removed. Now, to get it to fit in a pickup truck or an SUV, you probably want to take these side panels off. And to do that, there are 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4 running down on each side. If you were to remove those 4 screws, then you could further take this apart and take the side panels off the front panel. But this thing really can move and transport all in one piece. So what's left now in here is the enclosure. There's a grab bar. I'll have to see how that's affixed. And now let's try to get these trim pieces off the side over here. These anchor pieces. There was a bead of silicone at the base, so after scoring it with a utility knife, I just cleaned it up with a flat edge scraper to get the bead of silicone off of the thing. So you'll probably want to put a new bead of silicone on when you reinstall the shower enclosure. To make life easier, I did take out those 4 short screws so I could remove the side panels from the front faceplate. And what I did was I would label them carefully, that there's a left top exterior, that this is the top exterior, and then this side over here is the right top exterior. So now these 3 pieces can be easily carried out, and they're no heavier than the door is, which is pretty light. So now you have 4 pieces: the door, the 2 side panels, and the front entryway. Okay, by taking the shower assembly apart, I found a nameplate on it. It's made by Kohler. It is their Sterling brand 2200A, now discontinued. Here it is at the Lowe's site, and they still make this Neo Angle, is what they're calling this kind of angle on it, shower door. Here's a similar unit being sold today at Home Depot, and they're asking $432 for it, but it's the same darn thing. So there you have it. It's made by Kohler. It's a sub-brand called Sterling, and the model number is 2200A. Okay, I removed the brackets that screw right to the wall that hold the whole fixture together. These have very long screws. These ones on the top here with the nylon bushings are particularly long, and I just left them in the assembly so it's easy to know what screws they are. And so those are now out, and we just have the rest of the back of the assembly. Everything's taken apart now. I've hit a roadblock here with the backsplash assembly. It's either glued to the wall with a lot of construction glue, or there might actually be a flange or a lip that the drywall is actually on top of it. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to, to get this out in one piece, I'm going to have to cut into the drywall and take the drywall out and then replace the drywall later. I'm not afraid of doing some drywall work. So I think I'm going to have to do some cutting here and get the drywall out of the way, and then I can access the back of this and be able to bring it out in one piece. I'm going to make every effort to remove this shower without damaging it. I really hate to send things to the landfill, and this shower is made by Kohler. It's their Sterling line, model 2200A, and it's sold for $500. And the modern equivalent of this, they call it the Neo Angle because it doesn't take up much floor space, goes for more than that. And it's in great shape, so I am going to try to get it out of here without damaging it. I took out the shower head up above. There's your temperature mixer that I unscrewed and took out. The drain was very straightforward. I popped out the grate there, and then I did not have a spanner wrench to turn this out. It has, at the 4 cardinal points, it has divots where you can undo it. You could use 2 flathead screwdrivers and try to undo it. What I used was just a needle nose pliers like this that's very large, and just opened it up wide enough so I could reach. And with that lockdown on that rubber gasket that's in there, I released the drain pipe. So I guess we'll have to see what kind of surprises we have when we try to take the floor pan out. Because this is a 38-inch or 39-inch shower, 38-inch, and the steam shower I'm going to put in is 39, I was really hoping I could just come in and take this thing out and then have the drywall in good shape. Unfortunately, I think what happened when you install this is they installed the shower first and then butted up the drywall against it. So the shower was installed before the drywall, and it has a flange, I think, under here. So what I'm going to have to do, and I hate to do it because I hate doing drywall, is I'm going to have to use a tool and cut the drywall out. Then get some new appropriate bathroom grade water resistant drywall and repair the drywall work. At least opening up this wall will make it very easy to bring in the electrical and put the plumbing exactly where I want it. I'm going to have lots of space. To cut it, I'm going to use a oscillating tool. see if I can focus on this. I'm going to use this Milwaukee blade that's specifically made for cutting drywall, and I'm going to use the same oscillating tool that I use for sanding. We'll just take the sanding blade off and put on a drywall blade. And you don't have to get a fancy cordless model. This is just a plug-in Dremel, and it was very reasonably priced. And we'll just use that, and we're going to have to cut out the wall. Well, there was a flange. The multi-tool cut the drywall very neatly, and there were a few nails to take out because it was nailed to studs. But it is all out. And so I would assume they put this into place, butted up the, nailed it to studs, and then butted up the drywall against it, and then they had finished the installation. When they dummied it in, they determined where to put the mixer. It looks like they were a little off center there, but it didn't affect operation. This thing was here from 2003 to 2024, serving admirably, and it still looks like it's in great shape. So this should just pull out from the wall, and it does. So we should be able to get this out in one piece, and then the only question will be, with fingers crossed, if we can get the base out in one piece. Well, we are done with the demolition or removal, the successful removal without any damage of the old Kohler shower. It's a very tidy installation, as you can see. They have the hot and cold pipes running upstairs from the basement, and they just shunted them over to the mixing area, and then they have the shower head. Easy as that. I just labeled them hot and cold so I know which is which. The floor pan came right out. It was not secured with anything but nails. It wasn't glued in or anything. And it's not supported by anything because it's very strong on its own. It's got all this ribbing on the back. And so all they did, for the next person who's going to install it, we'll move the pan out of the way. There we are. You can see that they installed the pan into the corner of the room. They installed the shower assembly, and they nailed it to the framing. They put up flooring right up against the assembly. They put drywall right up against it and overlapped onto that flange to hold it in. Plus it's held in because it's hammered and nailed to the beams, which you see right there. And then they put a 4 3/4 inch hole in the floor, and there's the roughed in 2-inch interior diameter pipe. And this thing has its own rubber gaskets, and it has a locking seal that seals that rubber ring onto that so it doesn't leak, and then it has a grate that goes on top of it. So I would consider the demolition phase of the project for the steam shower to be done, and I'll call this part 1, and part 2 will be the steam shower installation. The only thing I have left to do is to remove the mixing valve assembly, so I'm going to have to put some shutoffs there and cut out the pipe, and then I'm going to have to bring in the 30 amp 220 volt for the 6 kilowatt steam generator. But now the demolition part is over. As you can see, these are 2x6s because this goes against the garage. That's why it's insulated. On this side, the other side is a study room, and it's just interior walls. These are 2x4s. They very nicely put some steel plating to protect pipes here and there, and there was an electrical line coming through, and they properly have that set back deep into the stud, so it wasn't in any danger when I was doing any of the cutting. And so it cut out very clean, And we're ready to do the steam shower installation.